please.
Yeah, Peter Summer, Capital Intel. You said before that 90% of the growth engine is from urban America, and I know all the biggest funds from Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Carlyle, KKR are looking to invest in infrastructure. So my question is, we have Trump's proposing $1.5 trillion. We have gridlock in Congress, but this is something fundamental for you. How are you going to get it pushed to Congress to put these bills, your wish list like P3s, airport privatizations, utilities? These are all serious stuff, and we have investment. And the second part of the question is, this is combined with this unique and unprecedented opportunity with opportunity zones. How are you going to make sure that the good best practices are made, the good players are allowed to get opportunity zones, and the bad players, slumlords and stuff, are excluded from this, maybe IRS or something else? And also your wish list on any of these privatizations.
Second part, that was about 10 questions.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to answer all of them as I think they were articulated, and certainly any of my colleagues feel free to jump in at any moment. The primary tool used to finance infrastructure in this country is a tax-exempt municipal bond. It's the tool that's been used literally since before the advent of the Internal Revenue Code in 1913. It was codified in the code, and we've used it effectively over the last century to deliver infrastructure. Even in spite of that, we still face probably a $4 trillion deficit across this country in meeting critical infrastructure needs. We try our best not to use the word infrastructure because it's not a humanizing word, but the characteristics that define us as a developed nation, clean water, the ability to deal with sewage, bridges and roads and hospitals and school systems. We're talking about a $4 trillion deficit that the American Society of Civil Engineers says we have to address. So I say that to say that our primary goal is always to protect the tax exemption of muni bonds. It allows every city and community of every size to access the capital markets. But many of us are engaged in and open to aggressive P3s that help us meet our community needs as well. It's we've seen some successful models. We do believe that opportunity zones presents us with some significant opportunities, and that's why we've been engaged from the very beginning. I believe at this conference last year, we had two of the original sponsors of the Investing Opportunity Act, Senators Booker and Senator Scott, join us just a month after the tax bill passed, and we've expressed our support and thanks to Representatives T-Berry and Kine, good bipartisan legislation that slipped into the tax bill. And we've been on the front lines, working with our governors and establishing the zones, and a face-to-face meeting with Secretary Mnuchin and his staff, and of course he'll be joining us here at the meeting as well. Continue to make sure that opportunity zones do in fact meet the needs of the people who live in the census tracts designated, that we are indeed trying to have some type of long-term effect on the quality of life of folks in those areas. Everyone from the sovereign wealth funds that you mentioned to pension funds in our country and abroad are interested in infrastructure investments. We're always open to that discussion. I think it's going to take a great deal more creativity in helping meet our infrastructure needs, but as long as that creativity and that procurement lives within the values of our cities and actually meeting the needs of our cities in a way that is as fiscally responsible as we all have to run our cities. I have a balanced budget. We've had to have a balanced budget. Yeah. It's required by law. We finished 6 of the last 8 years with a budget surplus in Columbia, South Carolina. We haven't had a tax increase in a decade. We've gotten 5 awards of excellence from the Government Finance Officers Association and 3 upgrades from Standard & Poor's and Moody's. We do our jobs in our cities. And we serve, I believe, as an example of Washington as to how to get things done and get it done well. We're open to partnerships. We're open to creativity. It's what we do every day. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing any shutdown stories.